Hello and welcome to this week's midweek reflection. I've long been interested in the creativity of young children and particularly how it links to expressions of languages of their spirituality. More recently, since participating in the Crucible course, I've found myself reflecting more on the importance of creative thinking in following Jesus in 21st century Britain and the ways of being church. Run by the mission agency Urban Expression, for whom creativity is a core value, the Crucible modules I've taken have offered me an opportunity to learn with other Christians living and working on the margins of society, and they've provoked me to think, I hope creatively, about our own context in Bicester. So what about you? I wonder if you became more creative during the lockdown. Media headlines during this time certainly suggested there was a boom in online orders for arts and craft materials. Perhaps you picked up a new craft or found yourself looking out needles and wool or paints and brushes to create. This picture was sent to me by a friend. Or maybe your creativity focused on the garden. We certainly saw some beautiful and creative exhibits from OBC gardeners earlier in the year. And last Sunday, many offered their artwork on the theme of our adoption as children of God. The God whom we worship and who made us is the creator of everything and who continues to be creative in the world. Genesis tells us we are made in God's image, and that must include to be creative. This creator God gives us skills in all kinds of crafts, and in the Old Testament we read in Exodus 31 and 35 how God has specific roles for individuals within the Israelite community who will use many different creative skills to build the Ark of the Covenant and later the temple. In 31 verse 31, for example, God tells Moses, I have filled him with the Spirit of God, with wisdom, with understanding and knowledge, and with all kinds of skills, to make artistic designs in gold, silver and bronze, to cut and set stones, to work with wood, and to engage in all kinds of crafts. And in Exodus 35:35, we read, God has filled them with skill to do all kinds of work, as engravers, designers, embroiderers in blue, purple and scarlet yarn and fine linen, and weavers, all of them skilled workers. God keeps being creative. He talks to us through different things, and like him, Paul Stevenson writes, we can be creative and talk to each other in different ways too. In these challenging times where the context for being church is radically altered, we're unable to meet together as we'd like, and restrictions prevent us extending hospitality in ways we've usually done. Creativity can give us an alternative voice, a way of expressing ideas or feelings in a more personal or meaningful way, to encourage or to challenge injustice. We can often avoid getting creative because of a fear of failing, but what we fear is often part of learning. Juliet Kilpin, a co-founder of Urban Expressions, says that permission to experiment with new ways of connecting with those at the margins requires freedom to fail, because it's only in trying things out that we discern whether it works or not. Taking a risk, having a go, and sharing our difficulties, vulnerabilities, supports an environment of learning and reflection, and counters the tendency to share only our successes. She acknowledges too that creativity is hard work, and it takes courage to choose creativity above the familiar. The alternative voice that creative thinking, imagining and being offers involves us listening together to God and to each other to make way for the unexpected.